What's going on, everyone? BSML David here. I guess I'll give myself that moniker. Back at it again with another recap by myself. Again, just a lot of things going on, but I want to get a recap out of the last Red Sox series. So here we are. Red Sox just lost 3, got swept by the Chicago White Sox, and it's just all going downhill for the team. I really don't know what else to say. When it rains, it pours, and it is essentially a monsoon with the Boston Red Sox right now. At the end of this series, Red Sox are 10-19. They just got swept by the Chicago White Sox in a 3-game set. Painful. Game 1, Nathan Eovaldi didn't pitch great. He gave us around 5 innings. No one could really watch that game because it was on Apple TV. I mean, you could, but I don't know. I caught the highlights, watched as much as I could. Nathan Eovaldi only went around 5 innings, giving up 3 runs. Not his best outing. He threw over 100 pitches. The bullpen was great, only allowing 1 run, keeping us in it. But we ended up dropping that game 4-2 because, as it is, the Red Sox either have great starting pitching and terrible bullpen pitching in games, or they have terrible starting pitching and great bullpen pitching. So just inconsistency strikes again in that game, so we dropped the first game of the series. The second game of the series was Nick Pivetta on the bump, and Pivetta put in his best effort of the season, 6 shutout innings, including 8 strikeouts, and the Red Sox led 1-0 heading into the ninth. It was a pitcher's duel for a while until Rafael Devers was able to get an RBI. So we headed the ninth. Hansel Robles, who's somewhat the de facto closer, I guess. He's been getting a lot of closing opportunities for Boston this year. All he has to do is get 3 outs in this game. Red Sox can win, holding on by a run, but Red Sox fans will be lying if they said they felt confident that we'd win this game. 1-run lead, 2-run leads really are just not a certainty to be kept by this team right now, and it's just really, really concerning. I'm stating the obvious, but Hansel Robles came in, couldn't get 3 outs. I believe he only got 1 or 2 outs. Point is, he blew the save. Just pitiful. Game goes into extras because we had a chance actually in the 9th inning to win the game. 2nd and 3rd, 1 out, Bobby Dahlbeck. All he has to do is hit the ball in play, hit the ball past the infield for crying out loud, but he strikes out, and then Trevor Story flies out. So we strand 2nd and 3rd to potentially win the game with the tied at 1 in the bottom of the 9th. We leave more runners on bases, which is just becoming a recurring theme with this team also this year. So, quick thing I thought about that play with Dahlbeck is, you know he's struggling, he's a strikeout machine. Why don't you just do a squeeze bunt there? Jackie Bradley Jr. was at 3rd. JBJ starts running home as soon as the pitcher starts his form, or his windup. Then Dahlbeck just has to lay down a bunt. How hard is that? These are MLB players. They've had plenty of practice bunting, and it doesn't matter if he's out or whatever. There was 1 out at the time. All that Dahlbeck has to do is lay down a bunt, and I am more than confident that JBJ could sprint home and we won that game. I have no clue why Will Venable didn't call that play for Bobby. Would have been a huge confidence booster for him to get a walk-off. I don't care if it's cheap or small ball. I don't see why they didn't do that. And yes, I was correct in saying Will Venable because he was the acting manager at the time of that decision. Alex Cora was ejected earlier in that game. It was his first ejection of the season for arguing a high strike call to Trevor Story to strike him out. So Cora was just sticking up for his player there, right? What he does, player's manager, everyone loves him. I didn't agree with him getting ejected there because I don't think it was worth it. I get what he's trying to do. He's trying to fire up his players, but that play was a strike, but that's besides the point. Game 3 on Mother's Day yesterday, early start on NBC and Peacock, 11:35 start. Tanner Houck got the spot start. It was supposed to be Michael Wacha starting in Game 3, but Michael Wacha got scratched for an injury, and now he's actually on the 15-day disabled list, or injured list. But Tanner Houck got the spot start. Houck did not do well. He did not make it out of the 3rd inning. He went 2 2/3 innings, giving up 3 runs. Just not good pitching from him lately. I get it. He was thrown in last minute, and maybe that throws you off. And you can't expect too much out of Tanner Houck because he never goes the 3rd time into the order. He only goes 2 full times through the order at most. I get it, but Just wish she could have given you more there. And the Red Sox battled back, getting 2 runs in the 6th, making it 3-2. Bullpen was great in this game as they shut down. They had 6 1/3 innings of shutdown relief, keeping the Red Sox in this game. JD Martinez leadoff double in the bottom of the 9th to get the potential tying run on base, and the winning run was brought to the plate 3 times in a row. But the game ends with Kevin Plawecki hitting a measly fly out to left field, and the Red Sox strand a runner on second with no outs. This so-called powerhouse of an offense has been struggling to start the season so far, and the struggles continue there, and the Red Sox dropped the 3rd and final game of this series 3-2. So we lost game 1 4-1, game 1 4-2, game 2 3-1 in 10 innings, and the 3rd and final game of the series yesterday we lost 3-2. All winnable games. No more than 2 runs was the deficit we lost by. 1 or 2 runs. And we keep dropping these games that are easily winnable. It's just not all coming together. There's so many people to blame from top to bottom at the start and how this team has been playing. 10-19 on the season. Just pitiful. Our hitting can be great sometimes, but we leave a ton of runs, potential runs on the table. Our starting pitching has been great, but the bullpen can't hold their end of the bargain. And with the way the game's been shifting the last 5 years or so, you need solid relievers to win games because the bullpen is relied upon earlier in games than it was 10 years ago. So nothing going right for the Red Sox right now. Just continue to reel. We've lost 5 in a row. We're in last place, but we had a much-needed off day today. And quite frankly, if you ask me, the season's on the line for Boston here in this road trip. We got 2 coming up against Atlanta starting tomorrow, and then 3 after that in Texas. And if you don't go 3-2, in my opinion, at least in that season, or in this stretch of games, the season's pretty much over. Very hard to recover from being around 10 games under 500, more than 30 games into a season. I don't care if it's an 162-game slate. Very hard to recover from that. We've seen, the Yankees got off to a slow start last year. The Braves got off to a slow start last year, and they won the World Series in 2019. The Nationals were 12 games under 500 at one point and win the World Series, but those are anomalies. You can't just expect that to happen to your team. You got to stop that by playing better. But if the Red Sox can get on this road trip, go 3-2, which isn't amazing, but you finish a road trip over 500, you feel a little bit better about yourself, then maybe you can work with that. Maybe you can build off of that. But if it's 2-3, 1-4, or the dreaded 0-5, the season's probably over in May, as much as I hate to say it. And it's going to be tough already. We've dug ourselves in a deep, deep hole, and it's just going to be tough for us to even make it to the playoffs looking that far ahead. We've dug ourselves in a terribly deep hole, and we got to look to try and at least get a wild card spot, but we knew the division was going to be competitive. That also is another point. It doesn't help that we play in the most competitive division in the league with the Rays, Blue Jays, and Yankees all playing pretty solid right now. You figured it would be a 4-horse race before the season started. It's a 3-horse race right now. The Baltimore Orioles are ahead of us, for crying out loud. We have work to do. And no matter how well we play or how much ground we can make up hypothetically, it's going to be very tough to really, really come back from this due to the fact that the Yankees are playing great baseball right now and the Rays and Blue Jays are right behind them. It's going to be tough. Even with the expanded playoffs, it's going to be tough for this team to do anything. And I can't believe I'm saying this in May, and I'm not giving up on this team. It's just it all comes down to this road trip, in my opinion. We got to play well. You can't win the season in May or April, or really even June, but you can certainly lose it. And this season is slowly slipping away from Boston. No excuses, just got to pick it up. So, got a series coming up against Atlanta starting tomorrow. 2 games set down there, as I said. Then 3 games in Texas. And it's a quick little road trip, and then you come back to Fenway. And hopefully you're coming back to Fenway feeling a lot better about yourselves, or a little bit better about yourselves. You don't want to creep any more below 500 than you already are at. So Ball's in the court of the Red Sox. Their backs are completely against the wall. Got to do something these next few games, next couple of series. Alrighty, that's going to do it for this post-series recap between the Red Sox and the White Sox. And I'm going to get ready to film a pre-series preview of the 2-game set against the Braves. But for now, take care. This is David. Take care.